I knew we were going to have to discuss the possibility of Mike McCarthy. I just don't love it. I can't get excited about Mike McCarthy. I'm not saying it's bad because it's not bad.
Right. It's just not great.
No, he's not that guy. He doesn't even cut a striking figure physically because he just looks like some guy who happens to be an NFL coach, right?
Right.
So what's going on here? I agree with your assessment. Jerry thinks they're right on the verge of winning. So he decided no Urban Meyers, no Lincoln Rileys.
Right.
And again, I remain a big Urban Meyer guy.
Right.
Urban Meyer has got charisma to him. He's got electricity to him. Wherever he went in college football, not good things, great things sparked and happened at Utah, Florida, Ohio State. Now, you can't recruit, obviously, in pro football. So I don't know. It would be much higher risk, but maybe much higher reward to go with Urban Meyer.
But he's going to help you. He's going to help you as far as the draft, because a lot of these guys that's coming out, that's
case.
what gave Jimmy the advantage.
Okay. So, but Jerry said tried and true. So he went all the way to tried and truest. He went to the longest tenured NFL head coaches who are out of work right now.
Right.
He started with Marvin Lewis. Okay. Because I don't trust Jerry on this. Was Marvin Lewis just a Rooney Rule interview? It feels like it was.
Feels like it.
I'll tell you the truth. This is my conclusion. I was going to use this before the show. I would have liked Marvin Lewis more than Mike McCarthy. And I know Marvin was mired in too much mediocrity in Cincinnati, but he was strapped by one of the cheapest owners in pro football. It's a literal mom and pop operation in Cincinnati.
Literally.
And if you look at what he did through all those years, he still was, we'll see, nine games above 500.
Right.
And again, he made the playoffs 7 times, and they went 0 for 7.
Right.
But it was Andy Dalton. It was just, listen, Marvin Lewis can coach defense. And if you told me that Mike McCarthy would be able to hire Marvin Lewis to coordinate the defense, I would then be ecstatic. But I'm going to doubt Marvin would go for that.
I would doubt that also.
Okay? Somehow I hope that's a possibility.
Right.
So let's look at why would Jerry be intrigued by Mike McCarthy? What happened? Mike McCarthy won 1 Super Bowl in his NFL life, and it happened at Jerry World. So that day he's out there, and all he's hearing from all of his cronies is, this Mike McCarthy can coach. He can call it. He can call them plays, Jerry. And yet, I'm not the biggest Aaron Rodgers fan, but through that period when they were at their best, starting with that wild card, and remember, that was a straight road wild card run all the way to a championship.
Yep.
That was 10 years ago. Through that time, Aaron Rodgers was crazy on fire. He was what you call him. He was a transcendent thrower of the football.
Right.
He was, to your point, the greatest thrower of the football ever through that period.
Right.
And it felt like Mike McCarthy rode those coattails, right?
Right.
Were they great on defense? They were that year because Clay Matthews sort of spearheaded the defense, right? Were they ever really great on defense?
Yeah, Charles Woodson.
Yeah, it was not bad.
Right.
Not bad, but was his calling card defense? No, he's an offensive guy. He's a play caller.
Right.
And as Aaron began to, you disagree with this, but I believe Aaron's in some decline. And as he declined over the last 4 odd years, then they began to clash more and more. And boy, they fell off the face of the earth. They missed the playoffs the last 2 years, right? So you're going to sell me on that? You can't sell me on that. And I get it that all Jerry knows is that they went up to Green Bay for a playoff game against Mike McCarthy. And again, it was the Dez caught it game, but he lost to Mike McCarthy.
Right.
And then Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers came to Jerry World 2016, Zeke's rookie year, and beat him in the playoffs.
Right.
So all Jerry knows is
the following year, beat him again.
Beat him again. They did. They beat him again at home. And then this year, it wasn't Mike McCarthy, but he's thinking, gee, he's Green Bay. He's the Packers. He kept beating me. So if I can't beat him, I'm going to join up with him. He's going to be my head coach.
I'm always leery of a guy that coaches, especially an offensive guy that coaches a long-time great player. Because we've seen this. We've seen Josh McDaniels. When he goes other places, he's not the same. We've watched Adam Gase. He's never been the same without Peyton Manning. It's going to be interesting to see how he looks without Aaron Rodgers, because those guys can, now we've seen guys that coach Brett Favre, Red Andy Reid has had great success. Even though he was a position coach, John Gruden, guys have had success. But it's going to be very interesting to see how good Mike McCarthy actually is, because you and I believe that Aaron Rodgers is a top-flight quarterback, whether he's declining or not. But during the period that when he coached it, he was top-flight. So it's going to be interesting to see Mike McCarthy, because I don't think people really think like, well, hell, I can call plays for Aaron Rodgers, and you get a lot of that. So we're going to see just how good Mike McCarthy is, and I agree with you. This is what Jerry wanted. Jerry's like, I got Zeke, I got yada yada. I'm gonna bring. I say there's a 90+% chance he brings Amari back. Defense is under contract with the exception of Byron Jones. I need somebody that's coached a championship caliber team before, because they're ready. That's the only reason I can think of. And then Mike, like you said, of all the guys that's out there, the Marvin, the Jeff Fisher, the McCarthy's, and some of the other guys, I think he said, this is the only guy that got Super Bowl on his resume. Jerry liked that.
Okay. So why was I so against University of Oklahoma's Lincoln Riley? Again, I'm born and raised an OU fan. All offense, no defense. We don't need a wizard play caller. I thought Kellen Moore was pretty great most of the year. I don't know if Jason Garrett contributed to that, but I thought he was pretty great. So is Mike McCarthy going to insist on taking back over play calling? Because he gave it up for a while, and then he took it back.
Right.
Okay, so is Mike McCarthy going to be calling plays next year? I don't love it. I can't get more excited about it than Kellen Moore.
Was one of the stipulations that, okay, you get the head coach, but he stays on and he calls plays. Because if the reports are true, Marvin was insistent that Hugh Jackson called the plays.
Okay. My team needs a new mindset, a new fire starter on defense.
Yes.
The defense slowly faded into the sunset. It could not be trusted when it was time to either show up for kickoff or make the stop in the fourth quarter.
Right.
So will Mike McCarthy change life in Dallas on defense? No.
No. Well, you better get somebody, Skip. He needs a fire brimstone type guy on defense, because
old, established NFL coaches, guys who are 60-ish, 50-ish.
Yeah.
Jared Bell, our friend from USA Today, brought up this morning, what about Bill Cowher? Obviously, he's been on TV for a long time.
Coming out.
Okay, but again, it's been 13 years since Bill Cowher coached down football in the NFL. But at least he was a defensive football coach.
Oh, yeah.
So my eyebrows went up because I'm thinking, Bill Cowher was a tough guy.
And he fired.
Woo.
Oh, he gonna light a fire on everybody.
Fire. And yet, is Mike McCarthy fired?
Nah.
No.
He might Skip. I don't know him. I don't. It's funny thing, Skip. I made the Pro Bowl. He was my position coach at the Pro Bowl. He used to be a tight ends coach at Kansas City back in the mid-90s.
He did.
So that's my only interaction with him.
How did you find him? Zero? Like just
Skip, look.
Like a bump on a log?
Skip, when you go to the Pro Bowl, you really tuning out everything. You ain't really paying no attention to nobody.
You're not going to get coached.
No.
Right?
No.
Well,
I had Coach Shula one year. Coach Shula was great, but I ain't really trying to listen.
You weren't getting coached.
No.
So Jeff Fisher obviously was a possibility raised. And he's the king of 8-8, but the only thing that appealed to me about Jeff Fisher, at least he's a defensive football coach.
Right.
So I'm looking for defense, and you gave me,
bring a point?
I don't know, maybe a little better Jason Garrett.
Right.
Maybe he's just a little better than Jason Garrett. That's about all I can give him. Wow.
The thing I think about is Jerry remains the star. That's what jumps into my
Thank you.
mind.
And
Jerry's the
Jerry
star.
got to be the star. He got to be.
You're not.
The star. You got the star on the helmet, and then you got the star that sits in the press in the owner's booth.
We will.
And that's Jerry.
And by the way, our man Troy Aikman took another shot at Jerry, which was deserved because he told Mike Ducey in Dallas that it looks like how they handled Jason Garrett was just dysfunctional. Yeah. Why would you keep him for a week?
Thank you.
Just twisting in the wind.
Yes,
And it made me fearful. Was Jerry at age 77 capable of making this hire? I don't know.
Might be Steven.
I don't
Because
know.
it made no sense. You didn't offer a guy. He won the division skill. He won a playoff game. You didn't extend him. And you have 2 meetings, possible 3 meetings, after he missed the playoff, going 8-8? What was that about?
Were you just keeping him dangling just in case you didn't like Mike McCarthy? I don't know.
I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like it. We will, of course, be following this all day. So much more to get to. Jay Glazer, best in the business, getting the scoop.
Good job.
Let's talk about Vikings Saints, shall we? The Vikings came out of New Orleans with a huge road upset thanks to some clutch play down the stretch from none other than Kirk Cousins, guys. Tied at 20 in OT. Kirk Cousins hit Adam Thielen on a deep pass to set up a 1st and goal, and then threw the game-winning touchdown. Kyle Rudolph. Rudolph catch was borderline pass interference, but officials didn't overrule the call on the field. And after the game, former referee Terry McCauley tweeted that it was definitely illegal. Sentiment another former ref, John Perry, echoed. Take a listen.
To me, it's a little bit more than just hand fighting. That right arm does get extended. It does create separation. There is actually a little bit of a push, which takes the defender back towards the end zone, which allows just enough advantage for the receiver to get up and make the catch. To me, it is and was OPI.
Shannon, in your opinion, was this offensive pass interference?
Yes, it was. Because, Skip, anytime you extend your arm, it's offensive pass interference, and that's what we're taught. We're taught that if you're going to get separation, it's with the elbow, it's the nudge, it's not the extension, because they see that. And what P.J. Williams, the DB, was trying to do, Skip, we're also taught as a tight end, if you push me, I pull you to me. If you pull me to you, I'll push you off me. And when he tried to extend, he tried to grab his arm. He gained an advantage, it's PI. But since they didn't call it on the field, as Al Riveron said, we're going to leave it be consistent like we've been all year. We let the play stand. But